Okay, so I was just doing something to see if I could get, the price of Bitcoin to like show on this on my screen here, and while I was doing other charts and whatnot, and I finally figured it out, flipping to different things and setting different backgrounds and whatnot, and just playing around with the OBS software and getting my good rig set up here and seeing what I can do. You're trying to get a good podcast going in the future for everybody. And I'm just looking at the corner and I'm seeing we're almost at 28,000 in Bitcoin. It is insane. It was not too long ago we were breaking the high of, the 2017 mark, which didn't last long, and it dropped. And I thought the same. I thought we were gonna break a little bit higher. I thought this was gonna be it right here, right? And then now we're breaking even higher than that, and it looks like, it's still on its way up. I'm recording it live as we speak. I'm recording the new high of 27th. Almost, we're nearing 28,000. And usually, what goes up must come down, right? Usually don't see anything. It can't keep going on forever. My fear is that this is a lot of control and mining, and a country that doesn't like us and wants to control the supply of Bitcoin. I was listening on a podcast today and I heard something about we have to pay, if you own Bitcoin, you have to pay some kind of tax for owning it, like 1 point something percent at the end of the year. And just imagine if you owned, you had just say you had 12,000, if you had 4 Bitcoin that were, at $3,000 earlier this year. Well, now those 4 Bitcoin are over $100,000, and you have to pay a tax on that, a 10% or 1% tax, which would that be 10,000 or 1,000? I don't know. I can't think straight right now. Either way, that's still a lot of money you'd have to pay in tax. And just what would happen after the first of the year if it goes down, right? If it just crashes right after the first of the year, you would still have to pay taxes on just owning what you had before it crashed. So something tells me just something's off. And it's probably going to keep doing this until the beginning of the new year, and then after that, it's going to crash. Just something, I don't know. Just listening to that podcast I listened to earlier today about paying taxes on it, and then it just continually keeps going up, and knowing that 51% of the control of it is farmed in China. Just something doesn't smell right about this. Does it to you guys? This is why I made that video really bad. I don't trust Bitcoin. I'll trade it. I'll trade it in CFDs all day. And I wish I would have honestly paid attention a little bit earlier, because I see the buy sign now. I see the buy signal anyway. It is. See this last down move right here? When it jumps above it, as soon as it comes down, touches it, boom, right there. That's where I would have bought, and there it goes. I wouldn't have sold. I guess you could have sold for a little bit, but as soon as you sold, it comes down and it touches this. It touches a bigger order block. That is a buying order block, and then it just goes up. So that was your signal right there. Was this right here? This That right there. See that big bearish block right there? That 15-minute candle that goes down really fast and it jumps right back up. Comes up. What does it do? It touches. Well, I guess yeah, this is a bearish block. This is a bullish order block, even though it's a bearish block. It comes up and it hits this bearish order block, right? So even though this looks like a down move, there's still an up move in there because there's still a wick, right? So we would have to get down to the 5-minute to see that. See, there's still some greenness in here. So this pushes up, pushes down, comes back up into this area, sells off, right? And then here it is. Here's this big push down. Look at that one big candle. There is hardly any wick in between these two red candles right here. That just tells you that's one big giant candle that's just complete selling. And so whenever price returns to that, like it does, boom, gone. Well, it hits it once, does it, comes back, hits it again. And I'd be afraid to get in the 1 minute to see what the 1 minute would look like. I mean, it's almost like a free-for-all. There's big gaps in there in the 1 minute. That's how big that push is. Comes up. You kind of get a little bit sideways in here. Just before the break above. Boom. Brings another gap. And then there it is. There's a little gap right there. Also where the order block is. So it closes that gap right on the order block. And that's where it takes off. Interesting. Really, really interesting to see the price action in that. I mean, if you you can just see the manipulation in it. It's just crazy how many big orders are coming in and out of this. I mean, because when it was down in its just take a look right around through here. Let's see if there's any like gaps like that in the 1 minute. There's some, but not much at the $24,000 level, right? You can see some gaps. But nothing to be alarmed about. You know, there's a couple here, there's a couple there. Not really seeing much through here. Yeah, there's one there, but it gets filled. There's a couple through here. And then here, yeah, it's all today. This is where you see it. Something just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. down there, it goes up into this. I mean, here's a big gap right here. It comes back up into it, right, hits order block, comes down. Sells off a little bit, gap there, gap there, gap there, gap here. Alright, comes up, fills the gap, falls back down, makes another little gap, pushes up, fills that gap. There's a little gap there. See order block, boom, makes another one.
Any advice or information on this website is general advice only. It does not take into account your personal circumstances. Please do not trade or invest based solely on this information. By viewing any material or using the information within this site, you agree that it is general education material and you will not hold any person or entity responsible for loss or damages resulting from the content or general advice provided here by Bodies and Wicks, its employees, directors, or fellow members. Futures, options, and spot currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risk. You must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the futures and options markets, as well as Forex. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. This website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy, sell, trade futures, spot Forex, CFDs, options, or other financial products. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed in any material on this website. The past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results.